Now let's see if there are any questions. The 5 features of consciousness in point 5. What does us refer to? Oh, here cannot contacted by us is the normal people, normal human beings. That's all. Very difficult to write these 5 features because you need to express on one side the living being who's speaking, on the other side the consciousness. So it's a little difficult. In fact, there's another 5 capsules of Vedanta that expressing is even more difficult. Adhyasa is different from Ajnanam. Ajnanam is ignorance. Basically, I don't know something. What I don't know that I am the Atma. That is ignorance. The misconception is Adhyasa, the resulting misconception. Because I don't know I am the Atma, I mistake the body as myself. Then Ahankara, Mamakara, everything comes. My people, our people, my body, all of that. And then because of that, all the samsara related problems come. So the Ajnanam is just the ignorance that of the fact that I am the Atma. Adhyasa is the resulting misconception. Okay. Let me see if anybody's hands are raised. Sita, please go ahead. I can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead, Sita.
Namo Namaha, Mahodaya. This Atma, when we say that it cannot be communicated because we don't have the medium, I have the understanding that Atma is more like space, like if we have space inside the house and outside the house, if the house is removed, like it becomes space everywhere. So how do we differentiate from that?
It's the same concept. The only thing, the point that is being made here is when there is, we're going to see this in detail, so we don't have to get too bothered about it, but only when there is a Sukshma Shariram and the consciousness is reflected in it, it comes alive in the body. Otherwise, once the body is cremated, you cannot discern the presence of the consciousness. You can always discern the presence of consciousness only in a living being. That's all.
Okay.
Because the principle is very similar to space. Consciousness is also everywhere.
Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Dhanyawada, Mahodaya.
Okay, anybody else? It's a lot covered today. I'm sure people will. Okay. Lata Ramesh.
Ramji. So if when a person dies, we actually say let the Atma be, have Shanti. So which Atma is being referred there?
Yeah, we'll come to that. It's actually the Jivatma. What is the Jivatma, etc.? You must have studied in Tattva Bodha and Introduction to
Yeah, you had
Vedanta.
explained that. Yes.
Yeah, yes. That's the same thing. We'll come to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then Balakrishna, please go ahead.
Yes, madam.
Hmm.
So, if our physical body and the senses cannot understand the secrets which the Vedas teach, how can one attain this liberation?
we don't say that the physical body cannot understand. We say there is a Shastra and there is a Guru Parampara which unlocks the teaching and teaches, because just by reading, you don't really understand the full essence of it. So as long as it is unlocked through a Guru Parampara with consistent and systematic study, you will be able to understand and you can progress. Have no doubts about it.
No, I will be able to understand it.
Mm.
But how can I actually, realize or attain that sakshatkara?
There is this attaining sakshatkara, reaching something, realizing, all this in Arsha Parampara and in the Guru Paramparas, they're all, said that this is all just imagination and people have added lot of mysticism. It is only plain understanding of this fact and this knowledge. All the rest are what we call as viparita bhavana. Because of this ajnana and adhyasa, we keep reverting, right, to the bodily things, ahankara and mamakara. So the only way to liberation is dilution of ahankara and mamakara while we gain knowledge. Nothing else is required.
So is it something like what the Buddha attained under that Bodhi?
There is no attaining here. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no
Another
attainment. It is just the
religion.
knowledge. That's all.
Because he also preached very similar things, no? Like you should relinquish everything in this life.
See, that is because for
All the
any of these teachings, you need to develop chitta shuddhi, because this is very abstract, the teaching, right? So for that, you need chitta shuddhi. And for chitta shuddhi, karma yoga, upasana yoga, all of them are required. And different, if you see Buddhism, Jainism, they also have similar kind of, fasting, disciplines, meditations, all of them, right? So we are not discussing all of that. When it comes to the teaching is different in Buddhism, the teaching is different in Jainism. They are Nasika Darshananis. They don't have belief in the Vedas. So the teachings are very different, right? So let us not, I think we are going out of the, this class. So let's come back to this class. Whatever questions are there, we'll discuss this at length as we move along.
Yeah, sure, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bhuvana, you can go ahead.
Harihi Om Guruji.
Go ahead.
This 7 questions.
Mm.
The Konama Bandha Katamesha Agataha.
Mm.
These 7 questions, I feel like the 5 features of consciousness. We have to remember and maybe write once we are done with the class, write the gist of each question, whatever Bhagavad Pada is saying. And that really will help. And I feel that I have to memorize this 49th verse.
Absolutely. Very
Yeah.
important verse.
Very
Yes.
beautiful. Yes. Thank you, Guruji.
Dhanyavadaha. Okay, one second. I think there are some questions here. You mentioned that we are a mixture of Atma and Anatma. But is Anatma also not pervaded by Atma? Yes, Anatma is pervaded by Atma, but only certain types of Anatma will be able to reflect the Atma and have life in it. Atma pervades all, table, chair, everything, but they are not walking around, right? Only in living beings, because of, there are some special things like the Sukshma Shariram is required. Only then it will reflect. Otherwise, it is there everywhere. I didn't say it won't be there anywhere. Okay. Okay. Independent consciousness. Does it mean each living being has a different consciousness or single like Akasha? So can we wait for this answer to be answered after a few weeks? If I still don't answer, you can come back and ask. It's going to be answered. Okay. Can moksha be attained only by Jivan Mukti, or is it possible after death also? We are going to see this also. We saw it in Tattva Bodha and in Introduction to Vedanta. Moksha during living here is referred to as Jivan Mukti, and after death it is Videha Mukti. That's all, right? But only in Manushya Janma you have access to a teacher, knowledge, etc. So we have to remember that. So after death, the only option is going to Brahma Loka and learning from Brahmaji. There also you have to learn from Brahmaji. That's the only way. Okay. Would it not be proper to say that Anatma is also Atma, but Atma is not Anatma? Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Everything is Atma, that's all. At the highest sense, at the Paramarthika level. I don't want to use those terms till we will get to that. What is the difference between consciousness and Atma? Are all these exact synonyms? Better to refer to Atma as Atma after some time, right? So Atma is basically consciousness, existence, both these. Sat, Chit, Ananda, right? That's what Taittiriya Upanishad defines it as. And we also saw the definition of Atma. Atma Kaha. All of us by now should have that by heart, right? So, Avastatraya, Shariratraya Vilakshana, Avastatraya Sakshi. We studied Atma Kaha, the definition. Right? In that Sachidananda Swarupa. So, Atma is featureless. So, should we use 5 facts? Whatever word you use, 5 features, 5 facts, just think it's 5 aspects that you're remembering, that's all. Any term in English you use will get into trouble only. So just, I have given as 5 features, you think of it as 5 aspects. Okay, there are no other questions here. And yeah, I think nobody else has raised their hands. Okay, so I hope you've all noted this down. Next week, Sunday, 25th February, we have a class. So please note that also. I don't want to confuse. I generally like to tell people in advance. That is why I have put this down. Okay. So we will meet next week, same time. Hari Om.